there's that old adage that's like, you only really save money to spend money, so even saving and frugality is really an exercise in redeployment of that same money. I guess having it inherited, like passing that down through inheritance, is going to be spent somehow, somewhere later. So I often try and see it as like people who are frugal aren't trying to avoid the spending of money, they're simply trying to rearrange it most of the time.
So I think one of the key benefits of frugality is obviously having lower expenses and more savings. I think it gives you greater peace of mind, but saving more and more of your income, while effective in getting you towards your goals, it can also be a little bit like an addictive game. And while like all games, it's kind of fun, it can be taken to the extreme and can start to affect our lives in some kind of unusual ways. We'll share a little bit of our experience with frugality and whether we've taken it too far at times, and maybe we'll even share a couple of the maybe more unusual ways that we've saved money over the years that people might not be aware of.
Some of the biggest ones that probably define my relationship with frugality are like having never owned a car since I finished high school. I ended up getting a motorbike, which really wasn't very much like me because I was always quite of a boring nerd, I guess. But I got the motorbike because I was talking to my housemate who had one, and I was like, how much does fuel cost? And he said, I usually get about, usually it's about 3 litres per 100k kind of thing. And the bike's a couple grand. I've also generally tried to avoid air cons wherever I can. What are ways you've tried to be frugal in your adult life, Dave?
For a specific example, something unusual that I did on my journey. So I worked in a dairy factory or a warehouse that dealt with milk and stuff like that, doing forklift work and picking and packing type work. And so I was someone who was basically bought a choc milk or an iced coffee every day, and I would just have that with my lunch or whatever. So when I actually went to this job, I was more or less in heaven, man, for the first 1 or 2 years, because there was always like a stocked fridge upstairs with, yogurts and iced coffees and all the rest of it. So for ages, I would say for maybe 7 or 8 years, I did not take anything to work like in the way of food or anything like that. I just had iced coffee and chocolate milk and yogurt and whatever until I eventually got sick of it.